Hey, Spike. So I have a question. For sure, a lot of people ask this question. How will you and Dr. Joe get rid of the Fed and the Federal Reserve? That's the question. Also, will she be there at the next debate debating Joe Biden? If not, she needs to be there.
Victor, thank you for those questions. I'll answer the second one first about the debate. The debate cartel has made it clear that they don't want Joe or any other third-party option in that debate, and we saw why. In the first debate, can you imagine if Joe Jorgensen had been standing between those two fools? Donald Trump saying, "I'm Donald Trump, and I'm running because Joe Biden is terrible and he's corrupt and his kid's a jerk." And then Joe Biden saying, "I'm Joe Biden, I hate Donald Trump, where am I?" And then in between them is someone who will be able to say, "Yeah, you're both terrible. Your name's Joe Biden, you're in Cleveland, and you all created the problem that we are facing, and here are the policies." Something you refuse to even talk about. Here are the policies that will actually fix the problem you made. This would be a no-brainer. We'd be sailing to victory. That's why we're not going to be in the debates. And that is why it is crucial that we work around this crony corporate media system that has been created and this crony rigged system from the debate cartel all the way down to the ballot access laws and everything else. That is why it is incumbent upon you, the grassroots army for human liberty, to take the message to your loved ones and colleagues and family and communities. That is why we have to do it the way that we're doing it, because we're never going to get a fair shake, because they know when we get into office, their whole system is done. As to the first question, how do we end the Federal Reserve? Number one, we audit it. We call for an audit. And when it's determined pretty quickly, it's okay. How often do libertarians applaud auditing? Well, yeah, if it's the banks, yeah, sure. That's the answer. The one time is the Federal Reserve. Anyone else? Boo, audit. Once they see that it is impossible to audit the Fed because A, they are a private agency, they're not, but A, they're private, and B, they don't even know where their money went. That'll lead to the next step of ending the Federal Reserve, which is to end the Federal Reserve. Now, I defer. Any time that you want to clap, do not feel like you can. So I will defer to Joe on exactly how she would go about doing this, but I can say this. We actually have a bit of a blueprint for how to do it. Andrew Jackson, when he was president, he did a lot of things that were not good. One of the things that he did do that you could argue was good was he ended the second bank of the United States. Do you know how he did it? No? Okay. The way that he ended it, that wasn't rhetorical. The way that he ended it was by ordering the Department of the Treasury to stop making deposits into the bank. Since the only client of the second bank of the U.S. was the U.S., it went out of business immediately. So that's a way to do it. There's a few ways to do it. A permanent way to do it would be through the legislative process. I'm going to go ahead and take a wild stab and say that the Republicans are going to fight that tooth and nail, but there's a lot we can do at the executive level to at least greatly diminish the ability of the Federal Reserve to do what it's doing. The number one thing we can be doing is using the bully pulpit, which Trump has effectively used the bully pulpit to push for the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates at effectively negative interest rates. Adjusted for inflation, they are negative interest rates. We can use that same bully pulpit to say, you need to be setting your interest rates to actual market supply and demand instead of this arbitrary keeping it low and just handing money to crony banks. Interesting note here. The Federal Reserve lends money to banks essentially free right now. Pretty much free. Actually, once you adjust for inflation, they're lending it to them at a discount. They then turn around and lend it to you, not for free. They charge you interest. Why? Because how else could they make money off of your back and off of your labor? Let's be very clear. That is the system we have. Theft by banking. And it needs to end. And we will work to end it. Thank you.